Hello all, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Mikey. Today I am going to be fitting a Nicolas hair system by Lavivid. So I need to cut the system to the correct size. So first thing I do is mark out my hairline where I want that to be. And as you'll see, I tend to do this a few times just to make sure that I get it exactly as I want it until I was happy with it. And with every system, it comes on top of a clear plastic dome. And this is what I used to be able to create the template, create a guide to the right shape that I need to cut the system to. So as you can see, I just plonk it on my head like that. And so I started with my temple, my sides, and I gradually each side go further back using my patch underneath as a guide as to where to draw the lines. So I'm using a hand mirror, and this is not easy to do, but to be able to see exactly where I need to mark the back. Sorry, the angle of this video was not great to be able to show you that part, but that's how I do it. I used a small hand mirror in one hand and then literally the pencil in the other hand. I'm using a white eyeliner pencil, by the way, just to mark out roughly where it is. And then I would, of course, cut that out. And that's how I do it. So I start by cutting up the temple side slightly, and then I cut further into the system so that I could get that straight line easier. It's easier than trying to do a curve from that direction. I don't know why, but it just made sense to do it this way. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. And then it also gave me access to be able to cut around the edge a bit more. As you can see, the line's a little bit skew, if you could call it. So it was more of a guide than anything else. So I cut the general shape, and then of course you can tweak it afterwards. And got rid of some of that excess. You don't want it all flicking around while you're trying to use the scissors to cut the shape. And this is what it looked like after I'd cut it all out. So then what I'm doing, I'm going to plonk it on my head again, just to see if it's the right kind of size. Now, I know this is slightly bigger than my patch, but my theory is I would prefer it to be slightly bigger than slightly too small. You can always cut the base smaller, but you can't make it bigger. So I would prefer to cut it first a bit bigger, so I know I'm safe. So as you can see, I did trim it down slightly, especially at the front. It was looking a bit too straight liney for my hairline, so I decided it's probably best to round it off a little bit. Which, to be honest with you, it doesn't really make much difference at the front because the hairline is the hairline. Once you've cut the lace off, the shape of the hairline is what it is, regardless of... And you can cut it, but it would look very, very blunt, the hairline. So I use the natural hairline that's already on the system because it's the most natural looking. So that's what it looks like underneath. And as you can see, I've marked the center, and that's very important. So that's how I match up the center of the template and the center of the hair system so that it's symmetrical. So next what I do is cut off the lace. It is just... To my mind, it made sense to do it at this point rather than later. Again, because you can't really see the shape of the hairline until you've cut off the lace. Especially from underneath, which is how I cut the base. So you'll see that in a minute. And I touch that up just a little bit. You don't want excess lace. You want to get it as close to the hair as possible where the hairline starts. So as you can see, I was just using them scissors to just gently cut away any excess lace. And so this is what it looks like after I've marked up the shape of the template that I made on the system. You can see the white lines going down each side of the system. And I cut it I used an eyebrow razor this time. I will use a different tool next time. I'm not sure what. I'm going to do some research and see what's best. I didn't find it to be the best, so I wouldn't recommend it, but that's what I did this time around. And this is what it looks like after I've cut it. So if you've seen any of my videos before, you know this is how I fit a mono and lace system. I always make sure there's lots of tape at the front To completely protect that lace, I don't like putting glue all in the lace. It ruins it, to my mind. It's a nightmare to clean. And then I do around the perimeter of the system. And then I'm not going to show you how I fit it onto my head. I've done a lot of videos about that in the past, and this video would end up being about 3 hours long if I tried to fit everything in. So there are previous videos showing that. And I press that lace down into that glue, just the very front, because you do need it at the very front. Unfortunately, I'd prefer not to, but it is the most natural look. I find if you do tape right to the front, you can see it, in my experience. So after all of that, it came out absolutely beautifully. I went and had it cut at the barbers, sorry, and they did an amazing job. But just look at this system. It is just so beautiful. The hair colour is perfect. The curl pattern, it's body wave, and it's just, this is my favourite system, I have to say. I just absolutely love it. And this is how it turned out after I had it cut. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to Lavivid for this beautiful system. It's the Nicolas system I would recommend.